It's another Football Friday, an OU edition, and here we are less than a week away from signing day. The Sooners have a good, maybe even great class that they are getting ready to sign, and we're here to talk about some of the guys in that class. I'm Jenny Carlson, joined by fellow columnist Barry Trammell and OU beat writer Brooke Pryor. And Brooke, let's start with Adrian Ealy, and he made his commitment known in an interesting way. You had a chance to talk to him. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so Adrian Ealy is a four-star offensive tackle out of Gonzales, Louisiana, which is about 30 minutes away from New Orleans. He's a guy who announced that he was committing to OU in a Bleacher Report video that was Reservoir Dogs inspired. That was not what it was supposed to be initially. Initially, he wanted it to be Fast and the Furious themed, where there would be cars racing down a drag strip. All the cars would have different school logos on the hood, and the winner would be who he was picking. But they quickly realized that was a little bit too complex, so they went with Reservoir Dogs. He did not know what that movie was at first, thought he would actually be filming with live animals. Not the case. Watched the video, saw the plot, and said, okay, yeah, I guess we can do this. But it's interesting. For such a attention-grabbing video, he's a very low-key guy. Talking with him, talking with his coach. So I thought it was pretty special that, especially an offensive lineman, a guy that in a position that doesn't always get a lot of praise, except when things are going wrong, gets to have his big moment in the spotlight ahead of signing day.
Yeah. Are you Reservoir Dogs? You know what that is, Barry?
I have seen the movie, and if I remember correctly, virtually, plot spoiler here, virtually everyone ends up dead at the end. So I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but if that's the effect they're going for, they hit a home run.
It wasn't so long ago that guys with hats in front of them, and I remember when LeBron Nash, the Oklahoma State basketball player, put on the giant cowboy hat that was bright orange when he committed. We thought that was something.
Yeah, it seems quaint, the quaint old days.
Exactly. Have we jumped yet another shark that we didn't even think existed in the ocean of recruiting commitments?
If I was a cynical academic person on a college campus, you know what I'd be saying now? I hope these guys put as much effort into their college projects as they do into these recruiting videos. So I do applaud the kid for bailing on the drag, the drag strip
Seems
idea.
a little
that
much.
seemed not a little much and a little on the dangerous side. So but you're not out in the desert. You're in New Orleans, where the streets are not necessarily wide and empty.
Yeah, so way to go on Reservoir Dogs, Adrian Ealy. All right, let's talk one more area of recruiting. And Brooke, that's kicking. Austin Seibert is the Sooners kicker in the here and now, but I guess you can never have too many good ones. Talk about the kicking situation as it relates to signing day.
Exactly. OU has another guy committed, Reeves Munzchow. He is a 3 or 4 star guy, I believe, who is kicker and punter. I had the chance to talk with Jamie Cole, who works in Cole's kicking. Virtually everyone who's anyone in kicking, high school, college, NFL goes and works with him. And he was telling me that, Reeves is a really mature guy. He's doing things that guys that are in college now aren't able to do. Specifically, he's a great punter. His addition to OU, you could view it as a threat to Austin Seibert, but on the flip side of that, I think it's a huge benefit to Austin Seibert. He was doing everything from the kickoff to the place kicking to the field goals to punting. I mean, you name it. If there was a kicking situation, Austin Seibert was the guy stepping up. And you could see that throughout the season, he was fatigued. He couldn't hit, a 39-yard field goal. He couldn't hit some short-range field goals. And part of that may have been a product of, in practice, him just taking too many reps. So with Reeves there, either OU, gets another guy on the field in game day that relieves some of the pressure from Austin Seibert, or it gives Austin a chance to split reps with someone in practice and gives OU a really good backup option there.
Yeah, I think that it's probably safe to say he'll take on some duty next year, but if you've got a true freshman place kicker, any risk in that in your mind, Barry?
Oh, not necessarily. I just would like to see Oklahoma and Oklahoma State both have a kicker that can make a 43-yard field goal. I'm not asking for 55 anymore. Those are the old days. That's the pipe dream. But it seemed like Ben Grogan and Austin Seibert got out of the habit of being dependable on field goals, that you have to count on. And the Sooners couldn't count on Seibert to make a 41, 42, 43-yard field goal. And if he can't do that on a regular basis, you got to go somewhere else. And if that's a freshman, so be it. The Sooners in 2004 went went to a freshman kicker, Garrett Hartley, late in the season. Bob Stoops finally said, enough, I'm switching kickers. Freshman Garrett Hartley, you take over. Hartley proved to be an excellent kicker, played several years in the NFL. So I don't mind a freshman getting the job. I just want a guy that can make a field goal.
What's reasonable in you guys' mind when it comes to, I mean, obviously you want that consistency. We're a little bit jaded around here by Dan Bailey, I think, as much as anything, because, you know, he makes everything and he can hit it from distance. I mean, is consistently from 45 reasonable, or is that too much? I mean, what would be reasonable?
45, anything over 45, I think you're taking your chances.
Okay.
Anything under 45, a place like Oklahoma should have a kicker that can make a 44-yard field goal when you need him to.
What about Mr. Munchow? Is he a guy that could be that consistent from that distance?
I think he could be, but in my mind, I think he's a better punter, maybe.
Okay.
And if he takes over punting duties, then maybe Austin Seibert. I mean, he was a guy that was posting videos of himself kicking these ridiculously long field goals. So maybe it's just a matter of in talking with Jamie, he was explaining to me that the action of punting and place kicking they kind of counteract each other. And so maybe it could be Austin's trying to do too much and he's getting his steps mixed up, getting, you know, his rhythm off. And so if Reeves takes over punting, then maybe Austin starts hitting these long distance field goals that he struggled with during the season.
All right, well, we'll see how signing day goes. Again, we're less than a week away, February 1st. We'll continue to have all sorts of coverage leading up to signing day, but then we'll be wall-to-wall on February 1st. Be sure to join us then. Be sure to stay with the best coverage team anywhere at newsok.com and every day in the Oklahoman.